look, 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 ding, 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 ding. This is sort of a sound that relates to glass that is pinging and sliding across one another's sides, turning over and rolling on top of each other. When you lick a finger and slide it on a piece of glass crystal, it makes a sound that is similar to a singing, ringing frequency that's pinging. All because you've got to get the right connection to the material, to the materialistic process which we're about to convey in this podcast. It's the news. Welcome to the news. Welcome to the news. Welcome to the news. So, what we're aspirationally trying to vent about today and conceptualize, putting together in sort of a packaged podcast, is to make a reference to developing a bit of media and a bit of development and a bit of manufacturing combined. Because glass making can be done in essence in a transported vessel and a vehicle which can be changed in its locations. There is sort of an aspiration to develop the ability to combine global media related to the real estate industry to be able to make certain edutainment for DINKY TehC Program Studios, where we're in essence developing glass products and glass jewelry, but in essence glass products that can be transitioned into different locations through live media such as QVC media, such as live shopping media, such as Talk Shop Live media, such as Whatnot Live media, so that in essence we're doing live sales across the world, because we want to connect with all different countries, all countries of the world, to develop live shopping networks, and do this with also at the same time manufacturing goods such as glass, like glass blowing, for example, combining that with jewelry. So at the same time, we're trying to connect with the essence of live sales, and trying to connect with live sellers, and trying to connect with live, the ability to connect with also people who are selling their own homes in essence, and selling their own businesses in essence, and develop the network for be able to open up the conceptual connection to be able to sell these live assets live through, hopefully our company is like a brokerage in essence, to be able to develop the pipeline for us to be able to give the incentivization to transition their lives and liquidate a lot of their assets into the global philanthropy energy spectrum, and to be able to then play more games for change around the whole world and contribute to a global philanthropic energy, globally spanned and spawned like philanthropic energy fundraising process that's ongoing and perpetual energy raising that is to contribute to all humans in the world. And so, like, in essence, if people own real estate, and in essence we've got the ability to connect with them on their own lives, so that they are in essence helping the realtors sell by developing a documentation process and strategy to document a show in essence within this real estate, and at the same time like we are able to develop music like a DJ in essence show that corresponds to these people selling their own shows, selling their own assets is what I meant in terms of real estate, for example. And at the same time we're developing glass live, so we're glass blowing live at the same time, and DJing at the same time live. So while we've got the ability to conceptually build assets, at the same time we're developing art structures at the same time within real estate that is being made to be for sale, but at the same time we're packaging differing assets within, and so we're decorating the houses at the same time, like beforehand, like in other words decorating the houses with different jewelry, and in essence making it a shop, so that we're decorating the house with different packages of different assets that are for sale, and packaging all these assets like a interesting collective like package sale. So it's like QVC at the same time, because we're able to package the sale and like also use and leverage the seller, who is the person who owns the house, because they're selling their lives. In essence, we're getting them to sell their lives. We're getting we're getting them to join the live shopping movement, to get them to sell their lives, to then therefore transition to connect with the global philanthropy energy movement, the global philanthropy energy addition to the global philanthropy energy spectrum that connects all human beings to philanthropic energy and games for change that connect all human beings. Whoa. But at the same time, we're making all houses that are being for sale live and leveraging people whose assets they are to be selling those live. In essence, live selling of businesses, live selling of assets, stocking goods. In essence, live. And then we're also stocking these places and spaces that we have connections with to be able to make custom items, custom art, basically custom items that are similar to glass developing, glass blowing, jewelry creation, jewelry development, and decorating houses before. So we're custom developing structures and spaces that are for sale by the owner who's doing it for sale. But it's in essence, they work with our brokerage, to be able to develop and fulfill and fill their house with different products, different partner products in essence, and different custom-made products and different gallery products in essence. So we're like kind of making a collaboration shop out of a house that's being sold, and so therefore they're kind of like the curator, seller of different products that are in the house while they're live selling. They're live selling different products that are pre-stocked into their house and making their house into a gallery. So the whole house is in essence being sold into one giant package. It's a matter of packaging and making the house into a gallery before the actual house owner, who becomes the curator, becomes a gallery curator, and it becomes a custom show teller and tale teller and narrative teller for their own life that is weaved into custom products, that is weaved into making the story for their life, so that while the custom products, in other words, while the person who is selling their own house, while the person who is explaining their own life on camera, while the person is explaining what they did within that house in the past, in their life, they're also being able to sell a package of goods for sale within the house that has to do with different products that are custom made out of glass, custom glass products that are depicting and showing a depiction of that person's life and that person's experience within the house, in essence, before the house is being sold, before the process is being filmed on camera, before the house is being sold live. The narrative of the person's house, the narrative of the person's life has been pre-told, preconceived, preconceptualized as to what the main points are, what the highlights are, what the primary values are within the house, when they lived in the house, and what the primary value aspects were that they gained from the house. And then in essence, we're making glass structures to be able to depict the art and representations of the value that person gained from the house, to be able to help tell the story of that person's experience during the time in the house, to be able to furnish the house with assets so that this person is able to use these glass jewelry structures that are being made within and possibly live at the same time, being blown at the same time in the background while the live cast is happening and the house is being shown live for sale, so that we have different glass structures all around the house. And the glass structures actually add to the sale price of the house, because the glass structures get to come with the house, and the glass structures are stories that tell the past story, to be able to remind the new owner of the story of the house, of the past, of the value, and also the type of life that was lived by the person around the world, the person that lived that life in essence, and the art is telling the depictions of their personal story. So it's like the art is making that past live on in the future when a new person buys that house. In essence, they're buying the package, they're buying the art as well. So they're buying a package with a bunch of art as well as a house. In essence, so the house is furnished with art and furnished with a story and furnished with a past, and it's not just an empty box. It's not just an asset that's because of its location, it's being sold in that fashion. It's also the owner who's going live and doing live shopping within our network, within our brokerage of broadcasting specific content, to be able to specifically try to develop a leveraging space in leveraging social media, where we're able to get the highest value, the highest dollar, and the most immediate sale price from the most immediate qualified buyers, because we have a vetted audience that's able to conceptually connect with our live real estate sales that are live estate sales. Essentially, they're live estate sales, because it's almost like the person is selling their life. They're selling their life through the camera, and it's a symbology of the person selling their life through the camera. And at the same time, in addition to the art that we custom make, that they're also able to make different aspects to their life, to like different elements to their life that they want to leave behind, and they're personalized items. Therefore, it's kind of like some kind of a star in a movie giving a tour of their home and then leaving a bunch of items behind, basically, that add value to the sale price of the house. that's sort of the purpose of the art in of itself, is to tell the story, to help tell the story, making different structures to be able to tell the story. And some of the structures could be being made live. Some paintings could be made in the background, or some glass could be being blown, or some jewelry could be being made within the process of the development of the filming of the house being sold for sale, the estate being sold, real estate being sold, in essence, by the people. And in the same way, we can have the same thing happen with companies. Companies that are for sale, that have real estate attached, can be selling their own companies. The company owners can be selling their own companies, in essence. So they're doing the same thing. We want to still furnish that story with a narrative, with a process, with additional assets to be able to make packages. That's why we're talking about, in the past, selling business roll-ups with that all have real estate attached, in essence. So we're able to sell it through the means of the real estate portal and avenue of the real estate avenue, so we can package real estate in portfolios to be able to sell it that way and develop packages. But we want to make an artistic exit and an artistic packaging for the viewer, for the audience, to get a QVC-like experience. So when they get turned on to the items that are inside of either a business or a real estate for sale, residential real estate or commercial, that it has packaged items that personalizes the process and the experience, and it personalizes the set and the narrative, and it makes the real estate like a set, and it makes it the character who's telling the story like the star of the show, in essence, and it makes the person who's buying, in essence, the real estate like they're buying a package and a piece and a part of the process of this production, which is being held specifically around the nature of the history of what's idolizing the past history, which is unique and unique experiences and unique life that's lived, and it's animating and developing more excitement around a past scenario and narrative that's lived within this past period of time, within this real estate being occupied, and the ongoings and the energy that's been developed and created within. Typically, when real estate is transitioned and sold, it's just lifeless. It's lifeless material that's transitioned in the form of a structure, which is also known as a package. But in this instance, we're trying to personify and personalize and make movie shows and develop DJ situations and music and custom music within these processes and these products, so that the narrative is told through art, and the art is the person, and the people who own the art are also telling the story, the core of the story of why they chose this and how they've lived their lives and what the processes are with whether it's personal, residential real estate or commercial real estate, and we're having businesses for sale, and also the packages that are being sold among those. But we want to start by furnishing each of the packages with art, either the businesses that are being sold, for example, are having the business owners telling their story, in essence, and their story is being furnished with different art and art structures to be able to help complement the process, so that all those art artifacts are also included in the sale price of the assets of the real estate residential asset or the commercial real estate residential asset, so that all those items are coming as a package. It's one giant package, so that therefore can be leveraged in the sale price, that can be packaged into the sale price, and that conceptually continuously can add to our process as a brokerage for selling and transitioning assets in the form of packages to get the highest value and the greatest value, in doing partnerships to connect with art and make people become art as well, make people and develop the process so people are also seen as art in this process. They are the core anyways, but a lot of times they're left out of the process of a real estate sale, of a business sale. There's brokers that do the work on the front end. They're just trying to transition the assets. However, people like to leverage their media personifications. They like to leverage their personal brands. They like to leverage the existence that they've lived in the past and like to have that be acknowledged. And it's worthwhile for that to be acknowledged, because the good of the person that is that person that's inside of the house, the person that's good, that lives, that has a good heart inside of the person that is showing the house, the asset that is being sold, is much more, adding a lot more value, a lot more of an experience, a lot more presence, a lot more prominent of a prominent and interesting and an advocating story and an advocating narrative of a positive future for the right similar energy and frequency and energies that are positive, to be able to connect with that person and the personification of the asset that's coming along and being sold to begin with, and being embodied by the seller, by the actual owner, the seller as the owner, and the person who's personifying the asset and the real estate and the material in of itself. And that therefore is helping transition the value and transition the price, and also add packaging to the price and the assets and the future going. And that's the nature of our brokerage. That's the nature of DINKY TEH and the nature of love. That's the nature of DINKY TEH and Change for Game Studios in terms of transitioning assets and doing this all around the world, like Airbnbs all around the world, countries, B&Bs, like Airbnbs all around the world, like in different countries. This is our own version of Airbnb, but with connecting with different assets, with different brokers. It's like brokers, B&B is a little code word we've called it in the past. And we want to continue to try to develop these packaging structures so that continuous packages and collaborations are continuously among the fabric and the DNA of DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios, so we can try to bring the world together more collectively like a fabric, continuing to weave all of society together in all of the world and all of the countries together like a fabric, so that we can all paint the tapestry and all paint the quilt together, all of us, 100% of 8 billion people, so that we all can contribute and add to the flow and the fluidity of the world and the whole philanthropy energy of the whole world to be able to functionally flow together in the whole philanthropy energy grid, the whole Global Giving Games philanthropy energy, DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios philanthropy energy grid, the philanthropy energy, electricity energy, philanthropy energy grid. Thanks again, DINKY Tech. Bye. Peace. Bye.